What is it?
Hello and welcome to another edition of What Is It with me, Lee, on the Essential Gamer, and today it's World of Warships. The legendary World of Warships has come to PlayStation 4. If you don't know what it's about, it's very much in the same vein as things like World of Tanks. You control a warship, a battleship, and you sail into the high seas in a bid to blow everybody else up, quite frankly. You start off with a fairly basic setup of a few ships, and you can just go into a game which is versus AI to start with. This is basically the game's tutorial level. It lets you control the battleship, and it gives you all your basic take controls, but in boat form, so you have to consider your sea legs while playing this one. The controls are actually quite intuitive. It sort of comes naturally. You X to speed up, you go from full, half, power, all that sort of stuff, all the typical seafaring comments, and sort of shooting and attacking is very much strategic and tactical. You can't just wade in like you would in any other sort of first-person shooter, because you don't have the maneuverabilities. You have to use your brains. You have to let your weapons line up. You have to make sure you get the right trajectories. You have to make sure you get the right angles. You've got to make sure they're all loaded and aiming in the right place. There's a few things to think about when you're playing this one, but you definitely can't question World of Warships' authenticity. From the way it looks and the way it handles and the way you have to control it, it does make you feel a little bit like you're actually in the captain's seat. And speaking of which, I am the captain of this ship, and I see an enemy. Avast at ye!
We're being attacked by Hottentots!
Aye, aye, sir.
Cheeky devils! Get them on four! Empty those shot knuckles!
Aye, aye, sir. Gun ready, sir.
Stand by! Fire!
The enemy warship. All stations retreat.
And once the game is quite satisfied that you've found your sea legs, it'll actually let you progress. And progression is quite tasty in this. It starts off fairly simple with giving you things to add to your ship, and then with the next level it gives you more ship trees, i.e. more ships to unlock. And really there's a vast amount starting off within the factions. The British, the American and the Japanese factions have loads of ships to choose from, so you're spoilt for choice. And again, the level of detail in the design themselves is great, and the choices available I thought were quite good for a progression tree as far as boats are concerned. So yeah, quite impressed all round with that one. Eventually you're allowed to go crazy. It lets you really up the ante and go into the standard battles, which is your 9v9 all against all, murder the other team game. And this is where you're heading for pretty much as soon as you pick up the game. You want to play this mode because this is the one with the best interactions. It's the most enjoyable, it's the most exciting by far. The bots are great to train with, but it's nothing like playing against other humans. As I said before, the level of detail on the ship models themselves is fantastic. They've been meticulously recreated to the point where I think any sort of Navy fan, any memorabilia type chap would look at this and be quite impressed at the level of detail in it. And not just the ships themselves either. I was actually quite impressed with the port animations, the fact that there's people and things happening in the distance. They didn't have to put those in there, but you can see vans and buses and things moving, and you generally see this in all of the landscape, although you don't focus on it because you're getting your ass blown to smithereens. Still, very nice. Within the game itself, after you get blown up, or you sink yourself, whichever one you decide to do, there is a spectator mode, which is very juicy for what it is. It allows you to follow your team and the enemy, but it also has this wonderful projectile camera, a la Sniper Elite, I believe it was, where you can follow the shells, and there's something really satisfying about watching someone sink a shell into an enemy ship. Now sadly we have to get to the point where we talk about the monetary system, because it's a free to play game. There's going to be a monetary system somewhere, and there are loot boxes galore. You don't need them at all if you don't want them, but there was an element of possibly pay to win where you can buy slightly better ships using real life money. And I mean, if we look here, this shipping captain is on sale for 25,000 coins. Looking at the premium cost of that, 25,000, that's close to 10,000 to them, 30,000, so you're looking somewhere around £65, and you know, it's a shame that that's so horrendous. You're pretty stupid to spend it, to be quite honest, because at its core, World of Warships is actually a lot of fun. I was surprised by it. I didn't think I was going to like it. I thought it was just, you know, battleships with a third-person view and bits tacked on. But it's well, essentially it is. But the tactical side of it is so much more. And if you can ignore the fact that it costs an absolute bomb to buy a better boat, and you know, essentially you can grind for the same things, you might actually have some fun playing it yourself. It's a surprise, I'd say the least. For free to play, it's definitely something that you should give it a go. It may not be for everyone. If you don't like World of Tanks, if you don't like the sort of more vehicular side of battles, it's probably not going to be your bag. But for those who want something a little bit different to the usual military battlefields that we see in the more regularly churned out games, I would say give this a go. It definitely differs from the others, and it offers something completely unique. World of Warships is available on the PlayStation Store right now. Go check it out if you like it. If you enjoyed this video and you found it interesting in any way, or you just don't really want to hear my voice anymore, tell me, leave us something in the comments and let us know. Thanks for watching. My name's Lee, you've been watching The Essential Gamer, and I've just blown up. Goodbye.
C6. Hit. Dude, I know. J7.
Hit. I hit. You have sunk my battleship.
Excellent! Yeah!